In many schools, there seems to be some confusion about the role of the head of school in the area of fundraising, or what we call in the field advancement. I'm going to draw two triangles for you. The existential triangle is simply three things that have to happen for a school to exist. First, of course, is academic excellence. All right, without academic excellence, or if we put it in a business mode, the product, the school cannot exist. That's what we are all about. Second, of course, we have to have customers, or what we call in the field admissions or recruitment. All right, we got to have kids. We have to have kids in order to give them academic excellence. And the third part of the existential triangle is what we call advancement. Advancement sometimes is known as development and sometimes known as fundraising. Now, the head of school is ultimately responsible, directly responsible, for academic excellence, which he can delegate, and often does, or she can delegate, to a principal. In fact, in a larger school, this has to happen because the principal must take care of everything inside the school, and the head of school must take care of everything outside the school. The head is also in charge of ensuring that the compelling story is told and that you have enough kids in the school, so ultimately in charge of admissions. In that case as well, we are going to delegate the admissions function to an admissions director. And finally, the head, together with the board, is responsible for advancement or fundraising. So between the head of school, the board, and the advancement director, you form a second triangle. And that triangle is called the golden triangle. And that brings in the dollars for the school. Typically, a head of school will spend perhaps up to 50% of his or her time just on the advancement function. Remember, the advancement function involves telling the compelling story of the school. It involves public relations, fundraising directly, sitting down at lunches, probably 2 or 3 a week with donors and with fellow board members. The head of school tells the story. The board member may actually do the ask. Sometimes the head of school himself or herself will do the ask. So this is the second triangle, and without this golden triangle, the existential triangle cannot continue to exist. Now, some heads of schools resist this. They tend to say, well, I'm an educator and I don't want to be involved in fundraising. This is a huge mistake. At the age of 40-something, I saw myself as a pure educator and saw no need to get involved with advancement whatsoever. Over the last 20 years, I've evolved into a complete understanding that without the material support, the dollar support for the educators, then the education simply cannot move forward. Ergo, the word advancement. What I have learned over those 20 years is that what we spend is actually what we believe. So if you look at my bank account, for example, my wife's and mine, you can see that we believe in Jewish education and weddings. In other words, we take out food, clothing, and shelter, and everything that's left over, we spend it on weddings and on education. The school is the same kind of thing. A budget is simply a values proposition. What do we believe? Well, ultimately, most schools, you'll spend 70% of their dollars on faculty and on benefits. So this is what we believe. We believe ultimately in the product. So in order to have those dollars, the head of school must ensure that value proposition by working directly with the board and the director of advancement in the area of fundraising. In his capacity as the school and community leader, the head is not the most valuable player in the school. Rather, the mission, vision, and philosophy are the most valuable players in the school. The mission is the one-sentence macro goal, something akin to the preamble to the Constitution of the United States. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, etc., is the one-sentence macro vision of America. The vision is what we want our graduates to look like at the end of the day. What do we want them to know, value, and be able to do? And our philosophy is how it all gets done. The MVP, the most valuable player in the school, the mission, vision, and philosophy, is squarely in the hands of the head of school, who promotes that MVP and drives academic excellence, admissions, and advancement.